go. Come on, where is it?
Dave, it's your Idaho Central app here. Any chance you're missing a debit card? Let's get that taken care of for you. With ICCU's card control, you can turn any card off with the tap of your finger.
You got it.
And back on again. Out, 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 out. The closest Idaho Central Credit Union branch is in your pocket.
Pow day.
Dude, let's go.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Bronco Nation News Live from BroncoNationNews.com is presented by RowPaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics. All Bronco Nation news broadcasts come from the Western Collective Studios. Head down to Western Collective's locations in Garden City or downtown Boise to try some of their delicious beers, including the Horseshoe Golden Ale, the first beer to support an NIL collective. Now, here's four-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, BJ Rains, with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Hey, how we doing, Bronco Nation? Welcome on into a live edition of Bronco Nation News Live here at BroncoNationNews.com. Bronco Nation News, now part of the 247 Sports family. You can subscribe today at BroncoNationNews.com. Article just went up today about 20 minutes ago from Nathan Carroll. We're going to discuss it on today's show. Who are the biggest challengers to Boise State's quest at a three-peat in the Mountain West Conference? It's only happened one other time, TCU winning 3 straight Mountain West titles in their last year in the league. The Broncos will try to be just the second team to win 3 straight titles, so we'll get into what that means when it comes to Boise State's biggest challengers in the Mountain West and trying to get that three-peat. So that'll be a topic of today. It is a Taco Bell Tuesday. That means get out to Taco Bell and your Treasure Valley Taco Bell locations and pick up some of their great food. And they are hiring as well if you're looking for a job. You can get more information online at TacoBellWorks.com. And, of course, our title sponsor, Andy Rowe and RowPaint.com. There would be no BNN without Andy Rowe and RowPaint.com. So check out RowPaint.com. All your painting needs, whether it's those concrete coatings, interior, exterior paintings, you know where to go. That's our friends at RowPaint.com. It's Tuesday. That means we head over to the Bronco Studios and welcome in our man, Jay Tust. Jay, still not much on the walls there. We're going to get to work on that. But we've seen a couple episodes now in the skeleton version of the Bronco Studios, but it looks like you're starting to finally do some work there.
Yeah, just off and running, a soft launch, just getting a chance to work with each other and find out our process. And honestly, last week's news, as you know, was it was low-hanging fruit to talk about. Pac-12 expansion and obviously the media rights deal going into the holiday weekend. So we just took our chance to tackle some of those issues and had some fun doing it. But yeah. Good morning, by the way. How are you?
Good morning, Jay. Doing well. Hope you had a good 4th of July weekend. I'm sure that was super weird for you to get a holiday off and have a weekend off. I'm still sure you're pinching yourselves at times. Like, wait, we actually get today off? Wait, I don't have to go in and tape something ahead of time? That's got to be nice for you.
Yeah, it more than anything, it was not having to go do a newscast at the end of the day, I guess. You know, you kind of hang out with family and friends, and then you rush over and you try to do a newscast. It just kind of allows you to stay present, which I appreciated. It was
different
kind of
something
unique.
in the cup, maybe a little different something in the cup too, as well. Probably not having to leave to go back to work.
Maybe on the 4th of July.
Well, yeah, your interview with Teresa Gould, some other stuff is up there on the Bronco Studios. Folks can go check that out. It was good stuff last week. But, Jay, we are going to mostly talk, at least part of the show, our countdown to camp questions today looks at the rest of the Mountain West as Boise State looks to become just the second Mountain West team ever to three-peat. TCU did it back before. The Broncos in their final year in the league will look to do that, and that's our question number 6 today. May get a thought from you on the running back position we talked about yesterday at number 7, but about a half an hour ago, I've been up since 5, Jay. I'm working on this Lindy's magazine stuff, so I hadn't checked Twitter in a couple hours, and I looked, and I think it was about a half an hour ago. I saw Ross Dellinger. I'm not sure if he was first or what, but when I saw it about 8:30, Grand Canyon, and I had heard this was possible back even at the Mountain West tournament, that someone told me, no, they're trying to get in like right now, like they don't want to wait. And I guess the Mountain West, for whatever reason, I know now that the 5 members that are leaving relinquished their voting rights. I'm not sure if they would have voted yes or no. Probably no, but I don't know for sure in terms of adding Grand Canyon right now. But the other schools said, yeah, why make them wait? And they add Grand Canyon to the league here. And one of the hardest road venues to play in America. Boise State has played there in the past, but it's just an absolute party. They sell that thing out with students. Anyone that doesn't know what I'm talking about, like, it's not hyperbole, whatever, go Google, Grand Canyon basketball home game, and it is like a disco dance club. It is something unlike anything you've ever seen. And, one thought is on the way out, they're going to, make sure that a lot of these schools have to go play there now. And the other thought is, maybe you want to help maybe the San Diego States of the world to get this money, conference as much money as they can on the way out. Maybe that's not the best idea, but Grand Canyon, if you haven't seen it, is joining the Mountain West. They were supposed to join next year when all these teams leave. They are now joining immediately and will be in the Mountain West this season and will be on the Mountain West basketball schedule this season. Your initial thoughts to that, Jay?
I think it's a fine move for the Mountain West. They have to make probably bold decisions to try to stabilize their future. And this does nothing for them in the primary sport, the main revenue generator that is football, but it certainly helps them out with basketball moving forward. And, what was a very, very good basketball league will only be better in the short term this coming season. I mean, you're looking at Grand Canyon, a team that I believe has gone to 3 straight NCAA tournaments. They won an NCAA tournament game not that long ago. And they play some really good basketball. Bryce Drew's their head coach. He's been there for a while. Before him, it was Dan Marley. But, I mean, BJ, you look at their win totals over these last 4 seasons, it was 23, 24, 30, and 26. I mean, this is the program that's won a significant amount of games. And they've been to 3 straight NCAA tournaments and 4 out of the last 5. And so they're joining a conference that, has been is kind of established itself as a multi-bid league. And I think in the short term, it's going to be a really, really exciting season on the hardwood for the Mountain West. My one question is, after they finally get the balanced schedule for all these teams, they add somebody else to the mix. And I can only assume it's so late in the process that it would be difficult to make it a balanced schedule right now. But the good news is Mountain West Media Days is right around the corner, and I'm sure that's a question that can be addressed. Yeah,
that no doubt. That is a big question that I have for sure, is what happens with the schedule, because as you said, I don't know, San Diego State fans, whatever, didn't like the 20 games, but they had gone up to 20, so it was a true round robin. Everybody played everybody home and road, and it was going to be the fair way to do it, because 2 years ago you had, I think it was Utah State winning the league by 1 game over Nevada, but didn't have to play at Nevada. And they decided to make everybody play everybody twice, add those 2 games. And that helped the San Jose States of the world that had trouble getting games anyway. Wyoming, you just get 2 more games slotted in. That's 2 less games you have to schedule. And it worked out, pretty well for everybody. San Diego State's the one school that has always kind of opposed this, because they would rather play, 2 non-conference games than 2 other games in the Mountain West. And they are pretty adamant about that. I mean, good luck finding a San Diego State fan that likes this 20-game schedule. And they all let me know about it on social media all the time, how much they dislike it. But that is going to be interesting. I don't think they come down off 20 games because in this, some people are saying that on social media, but I just don't know in mid-July when teams are finishing up their schedules, how you can all of a sudden say, oh yeah, good luck. Go ahead and go try to find 2 more games at this point as well. So I think the 20 games stays, but yeah, you're going to have to get rid of 1 home game and 1 road game for a lot of these schools, to factor to now add Grand Canyon to the mix here. So I don't know how it all shakes out, but you hope if you're at Boise State, you hope you're, I guess it's good and bad. You wouldn't mind not going to San Jose or not going to Air Force or not going to Wyoming. But also that, hurts your numbers a little bit, maybe, or helps your numbers by not having to go there. But obviously adding a tough road game at Grand Canyon certainly adds another wrinkle to all this because, man, you talk about Viejas Arena and the Pit and all these, going down to Logan and all these venues. And now you throw Grand Canyon into the mix, which is going to put itself right up there near the top, Jay. I mean, it just adds another quality road game for the top teams in this league.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like we'll be so tied up with football really until November. I mean, that's just kind of how the way that it works. But, once the new year hits, you really dive into conference play, and this only helps conference. I mean, yeah, you have to worry about fairness. I get that, BJ, and that's going to be a point of discussion. Absolutely. Like, what does this do? Is there an imbalanced schedule? Who's traveling where? Who gets the short end of the stick? I mean, this is going to happen. But I think if you wanted to just take a step back and, from a bird's eye view and look at this thing, the basketball league's going to be fantastic because you're now adding another NCAA tournament caliber program to a league that already has a ton of them. I mean, we could argue that Boise State deserved to be in the NCAA tournament last year and they got left out. Well, now there's going to be yet another team on that. And now you have road venues like Viejas and obviously Extra Mile, but you have the Pit. Now you got to go to Grand Canyon. Obviously, the Spectrum at Utah State is a hostile environment. I mean, some of the venues in the Mountain West for this season are going to be absolutely fantastic. And I'm excited to, I don't need to get here any sooner than it already will seem like it's here, but I'm excited for basketball season. I think that the Mountain West is doing what they can right now to make sure they have the best future possible.
And you mentioned Grand Canyon and their recent success, Jay. In the last 5 years, they've been no worse than 108th at KenPom, and that would put them squarely in the middle to upper third of the Mountain West. If you take their average KenPom the last 5 years, and I'll do it at some point after the show here, I'll bet you it's anywhere from 3rd to 6th in the Mountain West. So they immediately got in as I would say upper third for sure, middle Mountain West school, and they're instantly better than a lot of those schools at the bottom. You mentioned what they did, obviously, last year, 101st at KenPom, 26-8, like you said, got to the tournament, did lose to Maryland in the first game, but they were number 52 at KenPom just 2 years ago. They were 30-5, and they beat St. Mary's in the first round of the NCAA tournament just 2 years ago before losing a fairly close game to Alabama in the second round. They were the 12-5 upset over St. Mary's 2 years ago. You go again, finished 52nd at KenPom. They were 108th in 2023. They were 93rd in 2022. And then 2021, they were 103rd. So, they've pretty much proven it. But they're, kind of like some of these other schools, they're trying to move up and play in a better basketball league and try to challenge themselves more. And they were going to do it next year. But I think for Grand Canyon's perspective, heck yeah, we'll join a league with San Diego State and Boise State for a year and these other schools. And so, I'm doing my Lindy's Magazine stuff right now, Jay, and I'm literally in the middle of, I got to text the guy and ask him, like, do I now add, I obviously now have to add Grand Canyon. I don't know if I have to do their page. Somebody else was probably already doing that, but now I have to, like, where do I slot them into the Mountain West? And I've got to now pick, so it's going to be, this is happening pretty quick, but I'm wondering, like, in all these preseason projections, and I don't know a single thing about their team this year, but all of a sudden, like, yeah, where do they slot in? They're probably going to be, just off the top of my head, 6th or 7th, anywhere from 5th to 7th, probably right away, just based on their pedigree. And some of the teams I know are not going to be very good in the Mountain West this year. But it just adds a whole nother wrinkle to this thing for the year.
It feels like, I bet you, and maybe I'm going to speak too soon on this, BJ, but it feels like their metrics, like the KenPom and stuff, would be comparable to a UNLV over these last few years. UNLV is usually kind of hanging around 90 to 100, it seems. So maybe not quite like a quad one road game, but could be very well close to that, if not a top 75 quad one road opportunity by the time all is said and done. Either way, it will add some competitive games to the schedule that you're going to have to be ready for. And I mean, think about that just for a second. Saying it out loud, BJ, a road game in conference play for Boise State at Grand Canyon. I mean, that just adds another daunting task to what is already a pretty challenging road schedule in the Mountain West Conference.
If you had said, hey, Boise State added a home and home with Grand Canyon for this year, you just said, wow, that's a quality game. That's a real game. And so they're basically adding another nice quality game to their schedule, assuming they are going to go down there and play. And yeah, I'll take a trip in the wintertime to Phoenix for a couple of days. I'm maybe that's one you can try to get on as well, Jay. Just a quick look, though, in the last 2 years, they've only lost one home game in the last 2 years. So, I mean, I don't know their overall home record or whatever, but I know it's very good. And just looking at the last 2 years, only one home loss.
Can we get that thing in like the last week of February? I would really appreciate that. That's usually the time I go down there.
Down there. Was that in part of the contract? Were you able to get that week off, as part of the new deal here?
I don't think that it was discussed, but it wasn't like, any linchpin or whatever and getting the deal done. So I'm just going to have to hope that it all works out, I guess.
All right. Well, some other little breaking news that we'll get to here in a second with Boise State that Jay can hopefully touch on here in a minute before we get to our topic. But first, do want to thank our title sponsor, rowpaint.com. Andy Rowe and Company, all your painting needs. Make sure you hit up our title sponsor, rowpaint.com, whether it's those concrete coatings, interior, exterior painting. Hit up rowpaint.com. It's a Taco Bell Tuesday. As I said, we're so appreciative of the SON Management Group, the Nicolason family for their support of Bronco Nation News. Make sure you hit up a local Treasure Valley Taco Bell location today. My kids love those good old cheesy roll-ups and a slushie. I can feed them for like $5, but they've got obviously the staples like the Nachos Bel Grande and the cheesy Gordita Crunch and all the great options there, the Cantina Bowls, the Lux Cravings boxes. So check them out. Taco Bell. You can get more information online at tacobellworks.com. Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. There's a branch pretty much on every corner, but the easiest, that mobile e-branch online banking right there in your smartphone. Make the switch today. I promise you may like your banking experience. You don't know what you're missing out on until you check them out. Check out our friends at ICCU.com. I'm actually heading for one of the rare times, Jay, into an ICCU today, getting a couple checks made to refund some folks for their BNN subscriptions that they don't have Venmo and don't have working credit cards. And so we're going to go write some good old-fashioned checks to a couple of folks and refund them their BNN subscription, their prorated amount. So always love heading over there, and we appreciate Idaho Central Credit Union. Also appreciate Jackson's, an extra mile by Jackson's. They've got a great deal going on right now. If you're looking to go to Roaring Springs, how about this? You just have to get 2 Coca-Cola products at Jackson's or Extra Mile. They give you a voucher for $8 off a ticket to Roaring Springs, and you can do that 4 times. You can save up to $32 on 4 tickets to Roaring Springs, and that's when you buy 2 Coca-Cola products from our friends at Jackson's and Extra Mile. Hey, Snake River Pool and Spa Patio and Game, thespateam.com. Whether it's a pool table, whether it's a sauna, whether it's a spa for the back patio, they got you covered. Snake River Pool and Spa Patio and Game. They're part of the Boise State home team. They've been around since 1978. Locations in Boise, Twin Falls, Meridian, Nampa. Again, check them out online at thespateam.com. And Jay, we're making plans. I talked to your boss, Chris Kutz. We're going to be heading down to do a live broadcast at the Blue and Orange store. They're inside the Hall of Fame here in the near future. We're going to have Travis Hawks join us, but make sure you check out the new Blue and Orange store at the Boise State Hall of Fame during normal business working hours for the Hall of Fame. You can now go to the Blue and Orange store online, theblueandorangestore.com. Again, they have that location at the mall, obviously, as well. You can order anywhere in the world online, but next time you head down to check out the Blue, you can now check out the Blue and Orange store right there inside the Boise State Hall of Fame. The Blue and Orange store online at theblueandorangestore.com. All right, Jay, I had been hearing about this news for over a year. I remember like fall camp last year talking to Jeremiah Dickey about how they wanted to make this happen. I don't know if folks have heard this or not, but Boise State, the athletics department has taken control of the Esports program at Boise State. I'm trying to get my wording correctly. They're not going to be a sponsored Division I sport, but they will I guess, come under the now athletics umbrella when it comes to the budget and things like that. Previously, they were in the College of Innovation and Design. Now they move over to the athletics department in terms of their funding. I know speaking of Idaho Central Credit Union, they've been a big supporter of theirs with their arena down there and the naming rights downtown, and doing a lot for them as part of the esports program. So I'm sure Idaho Central Credit Union is fired up about this. But I would assume, Jay, that this, whether or not, I know you guys are building the studio, I assume still is the plan over there at Boise State, but I would assume now having the athletics department in control of the facilities they have over there. We did a Tyson Degenhart show there one time up on the couches there with Burns and Duryea, and it was unbelievable to see all the technology and things they have. So the desk they have for the set over in the arena, that kind of set they have there with the couches and things. I mean, I don't know what the plan is or what you're allowed to share, but I would assume that's something that Bronco Studios is going to be able to take advantage of as well.
Well, I'll say this, that is certainly a part of our plan here as we build towards the future with Bronco Studios. And some of the stuff they have access to over at their facility right now is actually pretty darn good, BJ. I mean, I know that you saw it. I've been over there a few times, and what they can do is, I'm not going to say limitless, but it's probably pretty close. So we're excited to work with them, team up with them, and see what it becomes. And more than anything, and I'm sure you were going to get to this in a second, so I don't mean to step on you here, but they're led by, I mean, I really don't think it's far-fetched to say that the best esports coach in the country. They really do have a very elite program over there. And I think the thing that's cool about this is that we've seen what Boise State Athletics has done to, amplify their message and tell their story and hype up Ashton Genty and sell out Albertson Stadium. And now they're going to have, that access to that energy and exposure to an esports program that truly has been the premier esports program in all of college athletics. I mean, there's something like almost 1,000 or over 800 esports programs, and nobody's won at a higher rate than Boise State. And Doc Haskell is just the man. He's obviously good at what he does, but he's just like a tremendous human. Like when I got hired here, Doc Haskell, one of the first people to congratulate me, text me and congratulate me. So he's a phenomenal dude. And I'm really excited to get to know him a little bit better and learn about their program and collaborate with those guys.
Yeah, no doubt. They've allowed us to come over there. Like I said, offered up the studio for the Tyson Degenhart show. We've been over there for some the giving games with the Idaho Food Bank has done some stuff over there as well. I know Johnny and Prater are probably fired up about this. They've done their show over there a couple of times as well. But yeah, the control room they have back there. I mean, I've been to TV stations and things like that, but I mean, the control room they have and what they're able to do, Jay, is on par with some TV stations and things in terms of what they can do. And they stream obviously to Twitch and a lot of their different channels. They very easily in a couple seconds started streaming to our YouTube channel and things through all their technology. And they've got, like I said, the multiple sets there with their set in the arena itself, but also that really nice, more conversational kind of interview desk type thing with the couches and stuff there that they can put together. So, yeah, I mean, it wouldn't shock me if you guys just say, heck, we're not building the studio over here. We're going to just go do it all over there. I mean, Jay's office may be moving over there at some point. I don't know. I know I'm speaking out of turn, but I mean, if you wanted to do that, the technology is over there where you guys probably could just take that over and make that, Bronco Studios. I know you have other plans and want to be on campus. I get that. My point is, it's a pretty big deal to have this now as part of the athletics control and what you guys can do with it. Yeah.
And what I will say is that you might have some people watching right now that are asking, so why do this? Well, I will say that, as I already said, I think collaborating with the athletics department is really going to help provide them good exposure and get their story out. But another thing is that, they stream a lot, BJ. Like they have, I don't know the amount of hours they stream over there, but it is a lot. And there are tremendous revenue generating opportunities that I know that people much smarter than I am here at Boise State have already identified, and I'm really eager to see where that goes. That being said, I know that coming up a little bit later on, I believe it's going to be released today. I'll tweet out a link when it does, but Garrett Jones does a lot of play-by-play stuff for us. He also hosts the podcast here at Boise State, but he's going to sit down with Doc as well as Cody Gogler, and they're going to have more on this. And I believe that drops today, but if and when it does, I'll make sure to throw that out there on social, because I think that there's, I think everybody needs to be educated on this a little bit and truly understand how exciting this opportunity is for both the esports team and for Boise State.
Was that filmed over? Hopefully that was filmed over on the set at the esports arena.
It was, actually.
Right. There you go.
Yes.
That makes sense.
You guessed correctly there.
That congrats to you then and Bronco Studios and Jeremiah and Cody and the whole crew over there. Because that is pretty cool deal, and that is exciting. When I first heard about that like over a year ago, I was like, wow, that makes too much sense.
Yep.
The only problem with it is that it's not on campus. That'd be in a perfect world a little bit closer, but it's a 5-minute drive or less than that.
Mm-hmm.
Just right there on the edge of downtown. So. And anyone that's never been there, I mean, they've opened it up for open nights where you can go in there and just take your kids and play Madden or whatever else you want to play. And it's just a phenomenal facility there with, I know Joey Jenkins has been involved in that a lot and been over there, and some other guys have. So it's that's really cool. So congrats to everybody involved. And like you said, yeah, I mean, they're historically one of the top. Now you mentioned esports coaches, obviously in Doc, but certainly the program is one of the top. They've been national champions and done some other things as well. And so kind of fitting, and you bring another Mountain West champion, national champion type program into the fold here under the athletics department, and looking forward to seeing what they are able to do. A couple questions coming in here. Let's see. Where was that? Someone's asking you if you get to, I can't find it right now. Oh, do you get to fly on the team plane, on the private plane when they go to other schools by chance? If so, that is a crazy cool perk.
Still being discussed if that's what's efficient.
I think 100% that'll be a yes. Come on.
If that's efficient at times, yes. I don't think I'm not the most important person that's got to land on those planes or make sure they have a seat on those planes. So I think at times the answer to that is yes, but not exactly sure.
Riley Boyd from the esports team saying, come take a tour. We're excited to welcome the public in 301 South Capitol. Derek Morales saying, Doc Haskell, the Bear Bryant.
Mm-hmm.
Sports.
Yeah, he's awesome. Yeah, I just an infectious personality, and if you really want to take a second to get down and know him, get to know him, you will understand he has a very, very impressive resume. And by the way, shout out to Riley. Riley's awesome as well.
No doubt. Jay, this is a nice segue here. I was going to bring this up, so you might as well, since we're talking esports and college football. The EA Sports College Football 26 came out yesterday, and Nathan Carroll, you can go read it right now at the all-new BroncoNationNews.com, went and put every single player's rating from the entire team on there, and then pointed out some of the more notable things when it comes to their rankings and what it means. And some guys were ranked one thing last year, and then somehow they magically went down without playing or went up. And he found some very interesting things, and you can go read that right now at BroncoNationNews.com. And then he also has what his ratings would have been. But for example, an Andrew Simpson was an 81 when he was here at Boise State. He now shows up as an 87 at North Carolina. That makes him the highest ranked North Carolina player, by the way. And Marco Notriani is only an 83. So stat wise, they've got Andrew Simpson as an 87. Marco Notriani is an 83. If healthy, I mean, I don't have a huge gripe with that. If Andrew Simpson was healthy last year, I mean, the previous year he obviously put up monster numbers. But on the surface, you go over to UNC and you jump up 6 spots, and all of a sudden you're now higher ranked than a guy that had better stats than you last year. That's the defensive one, which will be out actually later today. But the one that's up now is on offense, and it's Cage Casey. Jay is a 90. He was a first-team All-Mountain West player last year. A lot of preseason All-Americans, was a 90. And then he looks at Isaiah World, who was a All-Mountain West honorable mention at Nevada last year. He was an 81 to finish last year. Cage Casey was an 88. Isaiah World transfers to Oregon in the offseason, and all of a sudden is a 91 and now higher than Cage Casey somehow. So a lot of different things. You can look at that, fun with numbers. But if you're curious where Boise State's offensive players now look at in the game, you can go find that. Maddox Madsen, by the way, an 86. And that places him tied for the 28th best quarterback in the entire game. 28 out of 35 starting teams. 28th best quarterback, according to EA Sports, is Maddox Madsen. I don't know if you've looked at the list or have any thoughts, Jay, on the rankings of the EA Sports video game. I know it doesn't mean much. It's just for fun. I get it. But, it is something to talk about here in the middle of July.
I'm just going to give a shout out to Nathan really quick, because we actually got a little sneak preview of the video game last week, and I was kind of laughing because I saw that Andrew did make a nice jump. Now, I have zero problem with Andrew Simpson being an 87 because I think he's a phenomenal player. But it just goes to show you that people will, change their perception based off of where guys play, because again, great player, but I really wonder if he would have been an 87 had he still been at Boise State. Maybe he would have, but that was a nice jump. And I just want to reiterate, I think he's a fantastic player. He's going to do awesome things at North Carolina. I have no problem with him being an 87. It just, maybe he should have been a few points higher here, at some point in time in his career. So I did notice that. But I really like that Nathan went a little in depth on that, and even found another comparison, the Isaiah World comparison to Cage Casey.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to give them all away. Folks can go online and BroncoNationNews.com. I believe this is a free article. Everybody can go read this. But I did want to point out just the running backs, Jay, is the one that I wanted to point out here. The rest of the offense, again, you can go online and read it. But, and again, this is a video game. It's a guy putting this together. But I know they do some research when they do all this, Jay. They've got Malik Sherrod as an 88. Sire Gaines as an 83. They've got Malik Sherrod as the highest running back at Boise State. That makes him the 25th best running back in the country. He has a 94 acceleration and a 90 juke, which we saw in spring ball. I'll give you the juke. He certainly had that, out in open space on the screen game. But obviously, 5 points or 5 rating points, however you say it, higher than Sire Gaines is a little surprising. And then how about Greg Ard, the true freshman, comes in at a respectable 75, which is ahead of a Dylan Riley, who even played last year and is a 72. And then just a random note, this is how in-depth Nathan went on this. Greg Ard, the freshman running back, has a 86 throwing power as a running back. So he says if you're looking for a halfback pass a la Vinny Peretta, maybe Ard is the guy, because for some reason they found out that he has an 86 throwing ability there in the game as well. But interesting, the running back depth chart there, a little interesting according to EA Sports. Yeah,
I was in the room for some of those number reveals, and Greg got on the sticks and obviously made himself starting running back for a series or two. And Malik was just stoked. Apparently, he still had the star, which I think stands for an impact player, something like that, in the game. Honestly, I didn't really get a chance to play it last year, even though I played it. I don't even know how. I mean, I spent days playing that when I was a kid. But he was just stoked that they still gave him his, he took a star with him from Fresno to Boise State. So I would expect, you're getting back to your point about Sire Gaines real quick. Yeah, he's going to be one of those guys when they get updates throughout the season. You're going to see him get bumped up for sure.
Chris Marshall opting out of the game 2 years in a row. I don't know if you know anything about that, Jay, but I wouldn't read too much into that.
No, I wouldn't either. I do think it was funny because the guys were playing the game or whatever. And, there's a generic player. It's like he's wearing 46. It's just some like generic wide receiver that is kind of in his position. And he was saying, "Hey, who's that guy?" And the guys were like, "Well, that's where you would have been." But I wouldn't. Honestly, it's all fun and games, pun intended. And I think it's awesome that game is back and these guys are getting the chance to enjoy it. And this is NIL has gone in so many different directions of where maybe it wasn't really intended to go. Yeah. This is one of like the pure reasons of why it exists. And to see these guys get in and scroll through and see what they look like and see what their attributes are, like that was like the purity of why NIL was created. And all these guys are going to make a little bit of money off of it and get to play a video game where they can play as themselves. And I just think that that's tremendously cool.
And a couple of the coaches in the game as well.
Spencer Danielson was in the game. Actually, and Eric Chenander and Nate Potter.
Yeah.
I will say this, that we all know you go out there and you see Coach D at practice. The guy has always got like a black hoodie and black sweatpants on. It could be August 15th or December 15th. He is going to have the black hoodie and the black sweatpants on. And in the game, he's got like a blue and orange hat and stuff like that. So I don't know if they exactly like matched his wardrobe to match up like what it would be, in real life. But either way, Coach Danielson's in the game. I wonder how much his character bench press is. That's all I wonder. I bet you they didn't do him justice on that. I'm guessing they did.
When they do the, I'm sure one of the coaching things is like how much the coach, like a player's coach or whatever. I'm sure you got
he's player's coach.
Attributes are for the coaches when you're building your dynasty or whatever. But I'm guessing that Spencer Danielson fared pretty well in some.
I'll give you this little funny thing because we were nobody knew how to. So we were trying to we wanted to show him on the game so that we could show him he was in the game. And none of us could figure it out. And we asked one of the players, and they figured it out in like a second. But I was joking. I was like, well, obviously he's not in the game because there's no guy running up and down the sidelines like a wild man or whatever. And that's what you would notice if he was actually, mocked in the game, because that's what he does in real life. So maybe that's the update next year. That would be hilarious, where they just have a guy running up and down the sidelines, sprinting with Ashton Genty, or in this case, Sire Gaines or Malik Sherrod.
And I saw that a couple coaches, Deion Sanders and Bill Belichick, not in the game. And they just elected, I guess, not to, or to whatever reason. But it's funny. I know it's probably random, or I don't know if it's connected or not, but a random, like, late 90s, early 2000s Cardinals infielder, like a backup journeyman named Hector Luna. Back in the day, was like a guy that would come up, play for 2 weeks, get sent back down, whatever. Hector Luna is the head coach at North Carolina in the game. So I don't know if it just how it was.
So Archimedes Pozo, the head coach at Colorado, or
yeah,
Colorado. Trying to find a Mariners journeyman, Archimedes Pozo. I don't know why that was the one name that came to mind.
Yes, but I just I wondered. I part of me wondered if like the guy creating the names was like some Cardinals fan. I was trying to just find the most obscure old Cardinals player he could.
There's some story like that. There is. And he goes back home and he tells his buddy, like, look who I got in the game.
Yeah, how random is Hector Luna to be the North Carolina coach, I guess. But, maybe next year they'll go to the position coaches too. But it's cool they have the coordinators in there, and looking forward to playing that and seeing if how close it is to the offense and all that. And, hey, Nate Potter, they put him in there as OC, but maybe they have a better idea of what the offense is going to look like than all of us do. I don't know. We'll see what it looks like this year. I do want to get in our final few minutes here, Jay, to today's topic, the Mountain West, the contenders. Who is Boise State's biggest threat to knock them off this year in the Mountain West? But I do want to thank Lithia Ford of Boise. Check them out online at lithiafordboise.com. If you're looking to buy a pre-owned vehicle, they can help you out. The Raines family, that's what we did. Pre-owned F-150. We are loving it, and no issues. They're pre-owned pride. You can purchase with comfort to know that they've inspected it and corrected any issues. So you can check them out online at lithiafordboise.com. And if you're talking NIL and supporting Boise State, there's no one bigger than Jim Sturk and company over at Lithia. So return the favor. Make your next car or truck purchase at Lithia Ford of Boise. Matt Bauscher, same thing, man. He's part of the Boise State home team. Now you see that logo there on his wall at his office. When you buy or sell a home with Matt, you get to meet everybody in the picture there. First-class service is unmatched every step of the way at Bauscher Real Estate. And we bought and sold our home with Matt and his team last summer and had a tremendous experience, and very appreciative and happy of Kelly and the whole crew over there. And they just did a tremendous job. So if you're looking for somebody that'll fight for you every step of the way, every dollar on your sale or your purchase, it's Matt Bauscher online at BauscherRealEstate.com. Hey, Ridley's Family Market, speaking of saving money, download their Skip app. Get savings up to 40% off at the checkout line from Ridley's Family Markets. ShopRidleys.com is their website. They got 13 locations around the state of Idaho, more in surrounding states. Visit their website today. But that Kuna location, Star, Middleton, and the McCall one's perfect as well if you're heading up to McCall at some point before the summer's over. Ridley's Family Markets online at shopridleys.com. Transportation Compliance Service, TCS, transcomservice.com. Transportation Compliance Service. Check them out if you're trying to get in the trucking industry online. Transportation Compliance Service. Hey, Signature Roofing, speakpipe.com/BNN. Signature Roofing presents the voice inbox here at BNN. If you have something you like, something you don't like, leave us a voicemail. We'll play it on an upcoming show, and it's brought to you by Signature Roofing online at mysignatureroofing.com. Whether it's a re-roof, or repair, an estimate, and inspection, online at mysignatureroofing.com. Looking forward to Mountain West Media Days next week. Make sure you sign up for the Circa football contest. They have all the odds and things. We'll be talking Mountain West Player of the Year. I mean, don't forget, this time last year, Ashton Genty wasn't even on the Circa, Heisman odds, and ends up finishing second. So we'll see if any Boise State players are on the list. We'll look at the over-under for the win totals and all that from our friends at Circa Sports next week. But if you're wanting to have a little skin in the game when it comes to the NFL season, we'd love to have you jump into the Circa Millions or the Circa Survivor Contest. $21 million in guaranteed prizes. And you can sign up at their Ultimate Contest week. Only you can sign up anytime you want when you go to Vegas. But the Ultimate Contest weekend, we're going down in August, week 0. Come down with the crew. And we're looking forward to signing some folks up, doing some broadcasts down there. They have a couple open bar events, an open bar pool party out at Stadium Swim. Going to be a ton of fun in August. And it's $1,000 to enter, but you get a couple buddies together. It's like $300 a person or whatever, depending on how many you get. And it is 100% legal. Our proxy, Tom Carroll, will help set you up just because you have to be in Las Vegas to sign up at Circa, but you can play from anywhere in the world. So make sure you hit up Circa Sports. Hit me up with any questions, and we'll plan the trip together. And maybe dinner at Barry's will be on BNN if you come down and sign up for the contest. So, Jay, I know Jay has had dinner on BNN at Barry's before. So are we going to see, maybe I'm putting you on the spot here, but is that going to be a chance to do that again next week? Oh, you're muted. I know you're getting closer to having another child.
Yeah,
but
life's a little complicated right now. So I'm trying to get the thumbs up and all go that it is okay to leave town for a couple of days.
So still a game time decision.
A little bit of a game time decision. Yes.
Well, if you can't make it, there'd be a good reason there. Hopefully that you're obviously having your the third child on your family, but I know that you're getting closer to that. So best of luck with that. But if you are able to make it down and it works out, we'd love to see you down there. It's always a fun event, and you won't have to maybe rush out. Maybe the dinner at Barry's could go a little later for Jay this year if you're not having to rush out to do.
I won't have to run back for a 10 o'clock newscast.
That was probably the best newscast you've ever done on like a 30-ounce steak that you didn't have to pay for. But Vegas is a little more fun, Jay, when you're not doing the TV world. I can just tell you that.
Okay, good to know. And actually, I don't know if it was 30 ounces. I got the hubcap, or what's it called?
Barry's rib cap.
Rib cap, hubcap, rib cap. Thank you, hubcap. I don't know.
Hubcap.
Either way, that was recommended by our guy Travis Hawks.
Yeah, he swears by it.
He hyped that thing up, and oh my gosh, it was good.
It was, yes. But Mountain West Media Days, again, 1 week from today. We'll be flying down, or some of the crew will, on Monday night. I think Johnny and Prater and I are doing our shows Tuesday as kind of a preview show from the sports book there, where the Mountain West Championship odds will be on the screen, and we'll be discussing them. Jay, Boise State clearly going to be the Mountain West favorite this year. I don't think there's any question about that. But in terms of who their biggest challengers are, what teams have a realistic chance, and how low those odds are. I mean, how big of a favorite does Circa have Boise State? I know some places already have it out there. We'll see it when we get down to Circa. But just in general, I know UNLV the last 2 years has been to the championship game, and Jay, and challenged them, but a new coach there and a new roster. Who are you looking at in terms of Boise State's biggest threat to break up the three-peat here in their last year in the league?
It's probably UNLV, just because they've come so close. Now, that being said, this could be a big swing season for them. I mean, I think a lot of people have a lot of confidence in Dan Mullen, and I don't know why you wouldn't. But, I mean, it is a new head coach, and Barry Odom did a tremendous job there. And more than anything, I don't want to overlook the impact that Barry Odom made and built at UNLV. I think he deserves a lot of credit for it. And just assuming somebody else can come in and do it, I think it sells Odom a little short of what he was able to accomplish and build there. Now, Mullen might come in and pick up right where he left off. And in all honesty, I probably expect him to do that. But that is a program that is hungry to finally prove they can beat the team that is, in all honesty, been unbeatable for them, and that's Boise State. So as far as UNLV has come over these last few years, they haven't been able to get to the mountaintop. It's been Boise State continuously pushing them back down off of that thing, and that's going to be an awesome game this year, BJ. And I expect there to be plenty of fire and fuel going into that thing, and I'm excited that when the Mountain West Conference Championship game rolls around, I just expect it to be those two again, and hopefully it's here on the blue, because that's a tremendous home field advantage as we saw last year for Boise State.
By the way, one thing I heard is that the Mountain West possibly is looking to do neutral, or the Pac-12 is looking to do neutral site football championship game, and they're looking at Vegas. So speaking of UNLV, that would be something to. I don't know how folks would feel about that, a neutral site championship game. I know they did that in front of basically nobody out in San Francisco or wherever, Pac-12 in the past. They were in Vegas, I think, the 1 year, maybe I forget if that was Big Ten or Pac-12, whatever that was, the 1 year Boise State was out there. But that would be interesting to me. I wouldn't mind that, seeing a neutral site championship game. But you mentioned UNLV, Jay. They're one of the biggest wild cards for me that I can remember. I mean, because they lost so much production. You look at, Nathan Carroll's article, and he points out they are 132nd in returning production. They only have 30 combined starts from last year's team returning. Also one of the tougher Mountain West schedules. They play UCLA, at Boise State, at Colorado State, at Miami of Ohio, who is runner-up in the MAC, at Wyoming and Laramie. Nathan says there's a chance where you could see him going 6-6 this year if things don't go their way. But he also thinks there's, they brought in a ton of 4- and 5-star prospects, the most of any team, and they'll have the most 4- and 5-star prospects on their roster of any team in the league. But it was a lot of guys that didn't do much of anything at, Power 4 schools and are transferring back down. So how does that all kind of mesh together with Dan Mullen? That's going to be a very interesting thing to watch. And I agree, it wouldn't surprise us if they're right there, but it wouldn't surprise me also if it takes him a year or two to get it going there and they have a step back. The other contenders that Nathan points out, Colorado State, Fresno State, and San Jose State are the ones that he points at. Fresno State, don't forget, brought in Matt Entz, won 2 FCS national championships at North Dakota State, and has some experience there. They've got some returning players as well. San Jose State, Ken Niamata-Olo goes into his second year and went 7-6 last year in his first year. They beat Stanford and Oregon State in non-conference play, went 0-4 against the top teams in the conference. They've got some talent back, including their quarterback, Walker Eget, so we'll see there. But very interesting for those 4 schools, and so you want to see the rest of the list. But, Boise State is going to be, he says at some books he's seeing minus 135, Jay. I know folks don't necessarily understand some of those numbers, but when there's 11 teams or 12 teams, whatever it is in the league, and you have to go all the way through the conference season, and to be a favorite, a minus favorite before the season, to wait, even the favorite is usually like plus 150, plus 170, whatever, but to be minus 135, you have to risk $135 to win $100. That means Boise State is clearly the favorite to win the conference this year.
Yeah. Think about that. Like, it feels like there might not, at some point in time, there might be a game where they're not even 135, and to win, to basically run the table in the Mountain West Conference, more or less. Those are.
You'd get a lot better odds though if you just every game, or you parlayed, the 9 games, the 8 conference games, and the championship game.
I'm going to guess you're probably right on that. I don't know, but you're probably right on that. Sounds like something you want to tackle there, BJ.
I don't know what that would pay, but
yeah, that sounds like something you should tackle.
No, I'm not going to tackle it, but I'll see what our odds are from our friends at Circa. And Nathan Carroll actually is going to do a weekly gambling column at BNN this year, where he'll look at some of the numbers and make some picks and try to win people some money. So, looking forward to that. What do we have on Bronco Studios this week? I know it's a Tuesday, but any more shows? What are we working on here moving forward here?
This week is a critique and analyze week, and to build out some show structure. So I think content-wise, we'll be relatively quiet this week. And then we'll start to kind of ramp it back up. Our real launch date is, fall camp, and that's when we want to get it going. And unfortunately, I'm the one that makes this a little more complicated than hopefully it needs to be, because I got a kid on the way, and they're due right at the beginning of this thing.
A couple days of shows at Bronco Studios.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Pac-12 needs to stay with campus sites. Yeah, Bob.
I don't know, man. I don't mind the Vegas thing. If anything, hear me out, BJ. If anything, it makes more sense to host a neutral site game if you're the Pac-12 in Las Vegas than it does for the Mountain West, who has UNLV, right? Why do you ask? Because now really your only chance to go to Las Vegas is for the Pac-12 football championship game, or maybe a bowl game if that tie-in still stays with the Pac-12. So every the Pac-12, the old Pac-12, the Big 12, like, these conferences have shown time and time again, the WCC, the WAC. All these conferences have shown you don't need Vegas to be in Las Vegas. They host their conference tournaments there. They host football championships there. And, hey, are you kidding me? Like, first week of December, knowing you're going to be in a dome, knowing it's going to be warm even when you step outside of the dome, a trip to an excuse to go to Las Vegas, which I know you talk about this. If you plan ahead, the flights down there are not that bad. I actually would be in favor probably of a neutral site championship game, but that's just me kind of shooting from the hip.
I think it was kind of a one-off too. It just worked out perfectly with the playoff being on the line and everything last year, where Boise State was able to sell that game off. But traditionally, they've had trouble selling that game out. So we'll see. But I wouldn't mind it. But Jay, appreciate you. Get back to your full-time job there at Bronco Studios. Start adding. You got any hammer and nails around there? Get some more stuff on the walls, man. Come on.
I need to work on it. I'll get there.
Well, appreciate it. Best of luck with everything with the family, but I hope you have a good week, and hopefully we're able to do this on. Actually, we will not be doing this Friday, Jay. We have the the state baseball tournament is this week, and we were scheduled the 8 a.m. games on both Thursday and Friday. So got to figure out if we'll be doing an afternoon show or what, but I think you might be off the hook. We'll have to see here. But
can't do it from the third base coach's box?
That would be kind of fun. Yeah, it would be kind of fun. Maybe so. But yeah, they don't take full-time jobs into consideration for these baseball tournaments. They just schedule the games whenever they want. So we play Thursday and Friday at 8 a.m. So yeah, I'll be in touch with you, but you may get Friday off. So that's why we went 5 extra minutes today as a trade, but appreciate you. Have a great week, Jay, and we'll figure it out and talk to you soon, man.
Sounds good, bud. Good to see you.
There he is, Jay Tust, Bronco Studios. Check them out on YouTube. Check out their various platforms and things. They do a tremendous job there at Bronco Studios, and I'm looking forward to seeing kind of what they get going with that new esports program. I do think that's a big deal that they added the esports program under the athletics brand now, so they can take advantage of those studios and all the stuff the esports has over there. So very, very, very cool there. Hey, by the way, they haven't turned it off yet. They keep telling me it's going to be today, and it hasn't yet. And so $30 gets you a full year over there at 247 Sports, our new partnership, BroncoNationNews.com. Same website, just a better website, being part of the 247, or same web address, I guess I should say, BroncoNationNews.com. But we hope folks will make the switch. We had over 900 of you subscribed to BNN. About half of you have already resubscribed over at 247. So would love for folks to make the switch. If you are a current BNN subscriber, again, send me an email. I'll prorate you a refund on what you're due on your BNN subscription. And hopefully you can take that directly over and sign up at 247 Sports. But we got 2 more stories going up today. One's already up. We got all kinds of content that Nathan and Chris are churning out. Prater's working on another column, and we're going to be wall-to-wall coverage at Media Days next week. You do not want to miss Mountain West Media Days, and we're going to have an exclusive show down in Las Vegas only for subscribers. So you guys that are watching right now on this YouTube stream, if you want to get access to all of our live interviews, all of our live shows at Mountain West Media Days. I mean, I may even make the Spencer Danielson interview just subscriber only. I mean, we may do something like that to try to kick this thing off. So if you want to make sure you don't miss any of our coverage down in Las Vegas next week, interviews with all 12 Mountain West coaches, interviews with players, subscribe today. It's only $30 for a full year. That's like $250 a month right now is the deal they're offering. And it's not going to last very long. So give us a try for 1 year, $30, one-time fee. You're done for the full year, and see if you like the coverage, see if it's worth it to you. And then you can decide if you want to renew a year from now. If you do renew a year from now at the full price, then you get your Paramount Plus subscription included for free after the promotional period is over. So if you don't want to go for the $30, you can just pay, I think, $11.99, $12.99 a month and try it for 1 month. But $12 for 1 month or $30 for the whole year. I mean, it's kind of a steal right now. So all you guys chatting over here in the YouTube chat, you can keep that going in the message boards over there at BroncoNationNews.com. Some great message boards. That really excited me about making the move over there was the message boards and the different things that they can do over there. Once you have the platform that they have. So keep the discussion going all day in the message boards. We've got the VIP board for subscribers. We do have some free boards as well. But if you're on the fence, hopefully we can convince you to join, because next week at Mountain West Media Days, you're going to want to be a paying subscriber. A ton of exclusive content coming next week, and we'd love to have you. So make the switch today. If you've never been a BNN subscriber, this is the perfect time to jump in and subscribe. Just $30 for a full year at BroncoNationNews.com, and you get all of the recruiting aspects, all the recruiting interviews, all different kinds of recruiting coverage in addition to our daily coverage down there in Media Days. And moving forward here, you're going to have me covering the current team, Nathan covering all the analytics and numbers and things, weekly snap counts. Every Monday, we're going to post a story with how many plays each player played and different formations and things. We got a lot of cool ideas. And like I mentioned, a gambling column every week, all kinds of other stuff from Nathan. And Chris is going to be all over official visits and recruiting and talking to recruits. And we got another story going up today from him on the number 4 freshman he thinks is likely to contribute this fall with the team. So give us a shot. 1 year, $30, and hopefully you'll want to stick around after that. But that's all we're asking. Give us a shot for a year. Help us out. We're sending 4 to Mountain West Media Days. I mean, we're sending more than any local media outlet. Not even all the local media outlets are going to Mountain West Media Days. I know at least one of the papers is not even sending anybody, and we're sending 4 people down there. We're going to have We're going to have Kent Riddle doing live shows down there, myself. Nathan's going down there. Jaden Finch is going down to help us set everything up. So it's going to be a BNN just kind of taking over Circa and Media Days next week. But some of the content is going to be behind the paywall to make sure we take care of our subscribers and our paying subscribers. So I know a lot of these shows are free of charge, and we do that for our advertisers and to make sure they get the views they need to get. And we make sure that, a lot of you folks that maybe are unable to afford it can still see a free show, throughout the week. But down there in Las Vegas next week, we're, as I said, sending 4 people down there. It's a very expensive trip. We're trying to get off the mat here with, and start off strong with 247 Sports with some subscriptions. So one way to do that is to make some of our shows down there and some of our content subscriber only to help kick us off. So if you don't want to miss any coverage from Media Days, Spencer Danielson, all the players, live interviews, you can ask questions. I think we're for sure going to have a lot of the ways where you have to be a subscriber to be able to ask comments or questions at a minimum in a lot of these videos. So subscribe now, $30. We'd love to have you. We appreciate it. You can do that now at bronconationnews.com. And as I said, if you had a previous BNN subscription, you have to resubscribe to this site. But if you send me an email, I will personally refund you whatever is left on your deal. I'll send you a Venmo today, and you can switch it over and sign up for the new site right away. And that's at bronconationnews.com. So email me, rains@bronconationnews.com. That's my email, rains@bronconationnews.com. We will have a show tomorrow. Unsure about Thursday and Friday. As I said, we've got some scheduling conflicts with the Idaho Cal Ripken state tournament for my son's team. I'm one of the coaches. We play at 8 a.m. on both Thursday and Friday, so I've got to figure that out. We will not do the 9 a.m. show for sure. We may have to figure out a way later in the day to do an afternoon show or figure something out, but we'll figure that out and let you know. But go subscribe, bronconationnews.com. Tell your friends. Go. We have like 3 stories, fresh stories up, some more stories coming up today. You can continue the conversation from the chat on Grand Canyon, on all the various topics here in our message boards. Just click on the boards tab right there at bronconationnews.com. We have a free board as well as a VIP board where we're dropping a lot of news and notes and nuggets and things as well for subscribers. So hope you go check it out at bronconationnews.com. Hope you go check out Taco Bell Tuesday. They've got some great food options right now. Love those Cantina bowls. I just subbed the lettuce for the rice there, and you're eating keto, you're eating healthy. And my kids are loving the Lux Cravings boxes, the cheesy roll-ups, the slushies, all the great options they have there. And you never know who you're going to see there. I see the Nicolason family like the last 3 times I've gone. The owners of Taco Bell literally eating with their family in there. That's how good the food is. So check them out online again, TacoBellWorks.com, and hope you'll support them on a Taco Bell Tuesday. And of course, our title sponsor is Andy Rowe and RowePaint.com. All your painting needs, make sure you hit up RowePaint.com. That includes those concrete coatings, interior, exterior painting. And that's from our title sponsor at RowePaint.com. The esports announcement, if you missed it, Boise State Athletics Department is taking over the esports program. They will not be a sponsored Division I sport, but the athletics department will now assume the budget and the expenses and everything, and then now be in control of the esports program. Previously, they were in, I think, the College of Innovation and Design, and now they will go into the athletic department, and that allows the athletic department to now have control of the esports arena and their control room and their set and their cameras and a lot of cool things they can now do over there at the esports arena in downtown Boise, thanks to their partnership. So congrats to them. Idaho Central Credit Union, one of our big supporters, one of our big sponsors, is a big supporter of the esports program. So big news over there for them. And again, earlier in the show, if you missed it, we talked about Grand Canyon joining the Mountain West in basketball. You can go back and watch that at the beginning of the show as well. Grand Canyon now coming in for basketball, and that means a couple more tough games on the schedule for Boise State and these Mountain West teams moving forward here. So have a great rest of your day. Go subscribe. Go sign up today. And check out the all-new BroncoNationNews.com. And we will see you at 9 a.m. tomorrow. This has been Bronco Nation News, now part of the 247 Sports family, online at the all-new BroncoNationNews.com. Have a good day, everybody.
Bronco Nation News is presented by our title sponsor, RowePaint.com. Our major sponsors, Idaho Central Credit Union, Taco Bell, Lithia Ford, the Blue and Orange Store, Jackson's, and our contributing sponsors, Signature Roofing, Western Collective, Snake River Pool and Spa, Transportation Compliance Service, Boucher Real Estate, Ridley's Family Markets, Circa Las Vegas, Lean Feast, and Timberstone Golf Course.